Show Me UX. I'm Bill, a user experience designer, and in this video I'm going to go over the basics of how to add a text layer in Figma. Let's get started. To add text to the canvas, select the Text tool. You can click and drag, much like with the Rectangle tool, to create a text area with a given width or height. Alternatively, you can click once and begin typing. This will create a text layer with an automatic width that will grow depending on how much text is on the layer. I'm going to click and drag to create a text area of about this large, and I'm going to paste two paragraphs that I have on my clipboard. By pressing Escape, I select the entirety of the text layer. And on the right, in the Design panel, we can see the properties of the text, including the font weight, font size, line height, letter spacing, paragraph spacing, tools that allow us to control the width of the text area, text alignment tools, as well as tools that allow us to control the vertical alignment of the text in the text area. With the type layer still selected, let's change some of the text properties to see what we have to work with. First, we'll notice the font. There's a drop-down icon which allows us to take a look at all the fonts we have available. Alternatively, we can click in the name of the font, that is the field, and type in a font if we already know which one we'd like to use. In this case, I'm going to go with the font called Outfit. We can also change the font weight, that is to say, how bold or thin the font appears. I'm going to change this text area's font weight to semi-bold. To the right of the font weight input, we can control the font size. The default here is 12, but I can change that to, let's say, 14. Also available to us is the line height, which is a scrubbable amount. And so if I click and drag when I see the double-headed arrow, we'll see that I'm able to change the line height. I'll go ahead and leave that at auto for now. And to the right of that, we have another scrubbable figure called letter spacing. Letter spacing allows us to, of course, change the amount of room there is between each individual character. Again, I'm going to leave this at auto, or rather 0% for now. Below that, we have paragraph spacing. Notice that this only affects the text area when there's more than one paragraph visible. If there were only one paragraph in this text area, we wouldn't notice a difference. Next, we have the controls for the height and the width of the text area. Because I drew the text area, that is, clicked and dragged to establish the width and height, it's set to fixed size. However, we can change it to auto height, which, if you look at the bottom here, you'll know that the text exceeds the boundary. We can see that by clicking auto height, the height of the text area has been changed to accommodate all of the text. Lastly, we can click auto width, which is essentially the same as having the text tool selected and clicking once and then typing that way. There are two lines here, as you can see, because there are two paragraphs that I pasted. I'll undo that action for now. Below that, we have the text alignment tools that allow us to, of course, change the alignment of the text. And to the right of that, we have the vertical alignment controls. Those won't be visible when we have a height on our text area that's exactly specified to the height of our two paragraphs here. However, if I were to change the height of the text area to make it a little bit larger, and then choose, let's say, Align Middle, we'll see that the two paragraphs have been aligned to the middle of the text area. We can also change the font color by selecting the Fill property. Here, again, you can type in a specific hex value if you know what you want to work with, or you can click the swatch to bring up the color picker and click and drag to find a color you like that way. We can also change the opacity level of the text, and we can add a stroke to the text. As you can see here, that's not always the most useful thing to do, especially if you're trying to maintain readability of the copy. We can also apply an effect, such as a drop shadow, to make interesting looking text like this. I'll go ahead and undo that for now. We can also make changes to specific portions of the text by pressing Enter when the type layer is selected, or double-clicking. If we wanted to, for example, change the font and font color of the first paragraph, I could select that text, come over here to the Design panel, choose a different font. In this case, I'll type in Source Code Pro and press Enter. I would see that the first paragraph now has a different font than the second. Furthermore, if I wanted to change the color, I would click the swatch in the Fill section and choose a color that's to my liking. I could also change the stroke or add an effect. And that's it for this demonstration on how to add text to the canvas in Figma. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to add text to the canvas in Figma. If you did enjoy this content, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos on Figma, as well as information on user experience design and user interface design. Thank you for watching.